Yo, yeah. We back at it, man. Thank y'all for coming in the room, man. I got something I wanna chit chat about, man. I wanna pick y'all brain about too, what y'all thoughts is. So I recently came across the video. I didn't watch the video. I just watched the head. I just saw the title of it, and it was talking about some of y'all. I mean, I got different age groups on here. You know what I mean? But the majority of my age groups is gonna be old enough to remember 1996, 1997. B.I.G started forming a group called the Commission. The Commission consists of B.I.G, Jay-Z, Charlie Baltimore, and I want to say Sean Combs. I think he was a part of that situation. So I say supposed to, because there's always been rumors and rumblings that Jay-Z wasn't completely on board with that project. The reason why is understandable though. And the reason being is that when you look at 96, right? When you look at the year 1996. Well, let's go back before 96. Let me take y'all through a tour for y'all that's not old enough. So in 1991, 92, I want to say, Death Row Records, CEO Suge Knight, came out with an album by Dr. Dre called The Chronic, right? The Chronic was important because The Chronic showed what kind of sales hip-hop could do, what kind of money that hip-hop could really generate, right? The Chronic sold over 10 million records, which at that time, it was unheard of. That was unheard of. That was numbers that no one had, that not to my knowledge anyway, in hip-hop. We're not talking about Michael Jackson selling like a dub and the Beatles and all that selling like 20, 30. We're not talking about that. We're talking hip-hop. Because you got to remember, at this stage, point in the game, hip-hop is still fairly young. It's like maybe 14, 15 years old or something like that. So hip-hop is still fairly young. You know what I'm saying? So they came out and sold. I got a big wasp on the side of my window. That's crazy. They came out and sold 10 million records. They did it easy. Because The Chronic is probably sonically, the greatest hip-hop album ever. And that's when Dr. Dre was working. So Dre behind the boards when he working, it's incredible, right? And then he introduced a young boy called Snoop, and Snoop on there ripping it. The whole Death Row camp, Daz, Corrupt, Rage, they doing what they do on this album, man. I used to feel bad because cars was going down the street playing No Bees Ain't, and my grandmother used to be in the window. She used to be shaking her head listening to the music. But it was the hottest thing on the streets, man. Like, The Chronic was the hottest thing on the streets, man. And they chased The Chronic with Snoop Dogg. So Snoop Doggy Dogg had the ultimate alley-oop. He did. And that's not to take away from his talent or anything like that. But Snoop Dogg had the ultimate alley-oop. And I'm going to come back around. I ain't forget what the topic was to be about. But Snoop Dogg had the ultimate alley-oop because he was on The Chronic. He was on the album that at that time had already sold over 10 million records, right? It was a certified instant hip-hop classic. Not open for debate, right? It was credited at that moment as being the greatest hip-hop album ever in history, right? I'm talking about day one, right? Snoop Dogg is heavily on this album, and he's killing it. He's killing it. He's on Dre Day. He's on G Day, and he's killing it. He's killing it. And everybody know that his pen has something to do with some of them songs, as well as DOC's pen. But that's another story. But I think Ren pen too. But he's on this album that is in almost every house in America on, the urban side of things. You know what I'm saying? And don't get it twisted. Them white people's in the burbs and them Asians listening to this too, talking about The Chronic. You heard me? So this segued and springboards to Snoop Dogg's solo debut, which you cannot have a bigger springboard than coming off an album like that. It's impossible. When you're over 50, you're on over 50% of this album. And you got other stuff like Deep Cover was his first song, I want to say, that he introduced himself to the world and he killed. But he did the Deep Cover wasn't even fair. That was a legendary homicide. But he had all these springboards that the majority, 98% of artists are never going to have that kind of springboard. Never. So then that springboards to his Doggy Style, right, album, right? That comes out doing another 10 million instantly. Instant hip-hop classic as well. Instant hip-hop classic. Instant. Not over for debate. Right? Murder Was the Case. Like, that whole album was what Dre did to that album, man. On the sound, the mix. It's, man, listen, man, forget about it. But so prior to this 10 million and everything else they dropping over there was doing 2 and 3s and all that million. Like I said, going gold was the standard in hip hop. Going gold was successful. You know what I mean? You was deemed a man. Gold album. I got a gold album. What you talking about? You was shutting conversations down by saying you had a gold album. At that prior to Death Row Records. Right? So, after Doggy Style run, which it was a long run, like the Chronic of Doggy Style, that probably was like combined probably 3-year run, man. So, now the East is trying to come back, right? So you got an album from Nasir Jones called Illmatic that comes out. I think Illmatic only won gold. It might have won plat. I think it won plat. Oh wow. I'm trying to go through the car wash and this joint ugly. Yeah, this joint a crime scene. Yeah, so you get Illmatic, right? Illmatic was, I personally don't think that's Nas's best album. I think It Was Written is Nas's best album. I think It Was Written was important for when it came out. I think the importance of Illmatic because one, that started to switch the pendulum back to the East, and also it was the merging of 2 different generations, 2 different eras, right? So it's a Golden Era 1 and Gold Era 2. Golden Era 1 is with Rakim and Kane and G-Rap and MC Shanes and KRS Ones, and you know what I mean? That's the Golden Era 1. You know what I mean? You could put NWA in there. You could put Ice-T in there. What can you put in that? I'm just saying like names that is not debatable. Like during that era. Like, I mean, that was the era. Your boy Fresh Prince going there. So that was hip hop's first golden era, right? So Nas's Illmatic was important because Nas's Illmatic was a combination of let me see, if I wanted to merge 2 albums together, I would say Nas's Illmatic was a blend of Rakim albums like Don't Sweat the Technique, right? To Big's Ready to Die. Like Nas's Illmatic fit seamlessly to me in the middle of those 2 records. So Nas was ushering it, because Nas wasn't nothing but like, he was like 20 when Illmatic came out. I think the first time we heard him, he was like 16 or something on Live at the Barbecue. But whatever it was, he was dumb young. But yeah, I want to say Illmatic, when Illmatic came out, Nas was 20 years old. So for him at 20 to be spitting how he's spitting, and like I said, he's like ushering in that new era. You know what I mean? To where, I mean, I was up on the Rakims and Daddy Kanes. You had to be the Heavy D's, and I was up on all that. But excuse me, when Nas Illmatic come out, it's more of what I say on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? So Nas Illmatic kind of opened the doors when you really look at it for Big was Ready to Die. So the masses was already receptive because the air was already there. So when Big come out with Ready to Die, it made too much sense. And I mean, I'm not saying, come on, we knew the music was fire. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying how the setup was. You know what I mean? So now when Ready to Die come out, only thing coming out of Bad Boy was Plat. Ready to Die went double, triple, something like that. Remember back then that was the era of the singles. That's where the real money came in. That, by the way, you know, the single game. But the singles was going stupid, like 5, 6 on the singles. The singles was going dumb platinum. So Bad Boy was boisterous about the amount of platinum units they were selling. But actually, that credit should go to Death Row. But so I say all that to say, so 94, 95, all that good fancy stuff. You know, Big is the man. I mean, hip hop as a whole, but definitely out east. He definitely wrestled that power struggle of who's gonna be the top people right now from the West. That was wrestled away from them. Even though you still had, because think about it, Pac won double platinum from in prison in 95. Me Against the World won double platinum, 2.5 million in like 4 or 5 months or something. If that, I don't think it was that long. So the West was still moving units. You feel me? It wasn't like they wasn't selling nothing, but the visual, because they had so many remixes and they had so many videos. You know what I'm saying? Like they was dropping video after video after video. They had an open budget on there. They had it felt like they had an endless budget over there. So everything they doing over there is keeping their foot on people's necks. You know what I mean? That's really what they're doing. They're keeping their foot on people's necks. And it was like that though. It was like that. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was like that. So when Pac come out of jail in 96, Big still who he is. He submitted. He is solidified. So when Pac come out of jail, what was that, like August of 96? He already, I mean, he been solidified, but he still got momentum because Me Against the World just came out the previous year, and he got a track on there that will be a forever heard. If you don't have no other Tupac Shakur track in your life, you're gonna hear Dear Mama. Every Mother's Day, you're gonna hear Dear Mama. Ashton Stone, chalk it up. Right? So now he signed with the other hottest label in the industry, or they form a partnership, or whatever that was, because he ain't never really signed to Death Row. Like, that's another story. But he signed with the West Coast, or aligned himself with the other company that's just as big as, well, actually it's bigger than Bad Boy, because nobody at that time, like on that kind of size, had more money than Death Row. Death Row had, the company was worth $500 million, man, in 96. Man. Let's not get this twisted. Bad Boy wasn't up there in no $500 million, man. They had just, you know what I mean, they hadn't sold they was moving towards that direction, but you know what I mean, they wasn't there yet. Not even close. So when you factor that in there, and the fact that, Like I said, Death Row was worth $500 million, so Pac aligned himself with. So when Pac aligned himself with them, which was smart from you talk about from a strategic business standpoint, it was smart. The rest of the standpoint, it wasn't smart. But so the two hottest people in the game, no doubt about it, 96. When Pac dropped All Eyes on Me in February 96, and it sells 5 million in less than 3 months, I think it was. Come on, man. But Big still doing what he doing out east though. Like I said, he was on the Total joints. He was on all the remixes to the R&B joints. He writing for Kim. He writing for C's. So he's still in the mix. His name is still what it was. He's still eating off Ready to Die. Let's not get this twisted for a second, right? So Jay-Z in 96 comes out with. No, Jay-Z had been around forever. He wasn't no new artist. Let's get this understood. Right? He had been around probably at least since like 91, 92. If not before then, like 90 maybe. Maybe 90, maybe 89 or something. I think Jay-Z go back to the 80s actually, to be honest. But he getting his footing. Right? Big already established as being who he is. Big is looked at the biggest dude on the East Coast. And rightfully so. That car was too close to my comfort. But he looked at as being the biggest thing on the East. Rightfully so. Because he was. So Jay-Z is just now starting to get his footing because he don't change his flow. He broke away from Jazzo and Jazzo. You know, Big Daddy Kane kind of groomed him, mentored him. Jazzo was in the game, so he came in through Jazzo. Like Jazzo probably really showed him how to make records and took him on the road. Show him how the money break down with the per diem and all that. So Jay-Z, you know, he had that what was that group? Das Effects. That's the way Jay used to like only people that got money off that flow was Bone Thugs and Harmony, man. Only people that got rich off that flow was Bone Thugs and Harmony. Oh, Twister. Das Effects never really got no bread off that flow. They had some hot tracks. I'm not saying that. I'm talking like Bone Thugs and Harmony got damn near wealthy. You know what I'm saying? Or they was able to do stuff to try to acquire wealth. You know what I mean? Same thing with Twister. I mean, Twister don't got $1 million deals and all that. Based off that flow. But that flow is limited in the audience that want to hear that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from Philly. Like our flows, like our whole situation is a little different. But Das Effects that already blew up. You know what I mean? And the people who listen to Das Effects, like I said, I don't think they ever won platinum. I don't think they was ever millionaires or nothing like that. And I think it had a lot to do with their flow. Now, and you go back and listen to what Jay was saying with that flow. He was saying some stuff like, damn, what did he just say? Especially when he's like, my money machine. Like, yo, he was saying some stuff with that flow. It just wasn't something that was going to give you longevity. You know what I mean? Like, I think Bone Thugs and Twister had the advantage when they from the Midwest. And Bone Thugs had so much more with that. Like Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like, they had so much more with that. You know what I mean? That just a basic rap flow like Das Effects with that one going to do it. know what I mean? Even Twister didn't really get no paper till Rockefeller got with him and did a partnership with him. Took Rockefeller to do that for him to start seeing millions off that. He probably was getting 10, 20 grand a show. I'm not saying that. But for a while, getting the M's or going plat and all that. So Jay-Z switched his flow to what you hear in Reasonable Doubt. But he started that on My Lifetime. And I mean, that's one of my favorite Jay-Z tracks, by the way. But he switched his flow and he began to get his footing. He began to see, okay, this is what kind of rapper I'm going to be. And he started going into that mode, and he stayed in that mode, right? So Reasonable Doubt come out in 96. Like I said, B.I.G. already established. Reasonable Doubt was critically acclaimed. It's regarded as one of the best hip-hop albums ever. It just was bad timing. Come on, man. Like, you know what happened in 96, man. Like I said, Pac dominated 96. It was Pac, yeah. Pac owned 96, right? You had the Wu still doing stuff. You had Nas came out with It Was Written in 96. AZ came out with Do or Die in, I want to say, 96. You know what I mean? Like, you had a lot of work from artists that had already kind of been a little bit more established, or a little bit more familiar, to the masses. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I knew who Jay-Z was before Ain't No Nigga. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna fraud like that. I ain't know who dude was before Ain't No Nigga. Not even the slightest bit that I know who he was. You know what I'm saying? But even that, he on a joint with Fox. Fox flaming hot, right? And that was bothering him at first. Like, that was messing with his growth, or how people viewed him. Cause he couldn't even get club dates. He couldn't get like when it came time for his second album to do Sunshine, or to do something, they wouldn't do it. I think he wanted to do a video. And something couldn't happen unless Foxy agreed to do Sunshine, to make a video for Sunshine. That's why that came about. But with certain places that they wouldn't even book him at the venue if Fox wasn't guest appearing to do a track, to do Ain't No Nigga or Sunshine with him, whatever the case. But that was early in his career. You know what I mean? So he had one of the best albums of that year. Some could argue the best or whatever. Like, it won't be a dumb statement. You know what I mean? But did the Purple Tape come out in 96? Was that 95? That might have been 95. But he was already getting his growth stunted because of the quality of rappers were oversaturated in 96, right? And it was a good problem to have, because you could look and choose and pick of, like, I didn't start really listening to Jay-Z till later. I'm not gonna lie to you, because there was so much music that you could pick and choose from that you didn't just have to gravitate to the new hot guy. Oh yeah, he cool, but this is my man over here. That's how it was. There was so much loyalty, especially in music then, that it was crazy. You know what I mean? I was a Pac dude, so I listened to Big, but I'm still like, man, I'm not listening to all that, man. Like, Big hot as a firecracker. Like, Big is dumb nice, but Pac my man. And my man is crazy. He was a diehard Pac dude. Then he started loving Big, and he like, yeah, Pac, all right, but Big my man. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you could pick and choose that to that degree then, because it was so much quality of music, quality of artists, right? We talking a time where you actually had artist development. And think about it. People like Jay and AZ was behind the scenes for like 5 or 6 years before you heard them. Maybe before you really, really heard them. You know what I mean? So Jay-Z coming out as hot as he was, as nice as he was, he still was running the roadblocks for that reason. So if Jay-Z would have done a commission album with Biggie, that would have made his problems even bigger. His perception of who he was would have been even less, because people would have viewed him as Big's little man. Even in Big's death, yeah, that was Big Little Man. He nice, but that was Big Little Man. You know who falls into that same problem today? AZ. You want to know why AZ is the most underrated person probably ever in hip-hop history? Why he's never got his just due? Because he's perceived as he came in under Nas. Even though him and Nas was introduced really around the time they was making Life's a Beat. Like he was groomed, he from Brooklyn. He was groomed with Daddy Kane's and them too, as well. So he wasn't under Nas's umbrella. They was put together like, yo. They was like, yo, he nice. He's looking like, yo, you got something for this. He split something for it. He loved it, and they've been homies ever since. But he didn't come under Nas's. Nas ain't had no crew. Not in 94. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he had his homies and all that, but I don't think he had no. I mean, Mega, but Mega was in jail. You know what I mean? But he didn't have no crew like that to be talking about to say, oh, that's my man, he falling to me. And AZ, I mean, and that's been AZ's hip-hop career problem, is I think he has that stigma of being viewed as Nas's little man. In my humble opinion, I always thought AZ was nicer than Nas. I mean, go back to the first track that they spit on together. It's not even close. It's not even close. And the sad part about it is that Nas says some stuff on that record. Nas kills that record. Wake up on my born date, essence the blessings of recent adolescence. Like, my physical frame celebrated because I made it. Like he kills that. He kills it. Times Illmatic keeps static like wool fabric. Pack a full magic and crack your whole cabbage. Like, instead of saying F tomorrow, that buck that bought a bottle could have struck the lotto. Like, he kills that. But it cannot compete with what AZ does to that track. And I think it was a disservice, and that might have been an ego tip, like it's my album. But Nas should have went first on that record. And then AZ should have closed the record. The reason I say that is because the majority of the time when I hear that record, I won't even listen to Nas's verse. Even though Nas say some stuff on that verse, AZ left Earth with that verse. He got a deal off that verse. It's a fact. He got a deal off that verse of Illmatic. Big facts. Right? So, he's been fighting that stigma though. To me, he's more consistent than Nas. Track for track, he's more consistent. I think Nas, to me, is arguably the most gifted person ever in hip-hop history. They naturally gifted. But he's inconsistent. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing I can look at. I can see your natural talent. I can see the natural abilities you have. But I just don't think you're consistent. But, so for consistency, for me, I got to ride with AZ. And I don't have diehard Nas fans argue with me about this at first. Until they went back and listened to AZ and was like, yo, I didn't know AZ was that. I tell a person, put on Rather Unique. But this is kind of, this is the kind of stuff he's going to give you consistently. He's going to give you Rather Uniques consistently. But go listen to Rather Unique. It ain't too many rappers bar for bar that's ever going to mess with that track, man. But, so, let me get back to Jay. So I don't think Jay-Z would have done the commission for that reason. Because even in death, he's still fighting that stigma as being Big's little homie. Even he older than Big. But because Big was the biggest star at the time. Big was the man. So even now, in a sense, he's still viewed as being second to Big because of that. So if they would have did an actual record together, kiss the baby, man. He would have not been able to recover from that at all. No way, no how. So that's my reasons why I don't think the album would have happened. It would have been beautiful for hip hop, for the fans, for the people. But I think at most he would have gave Big a couple 16s on a couple songs. You know what I mean? Because they already done mad tracks together. They did Brooklyn's Finest. They did I Love the Dough. They already was moving around doing music together. But I don't think he would have been a full blown member of the commission. I don't think he would have done that. Cause look at it, he didn't even do that with X and Ja Rule for that same reason, the egos. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm an artist. Like, I want to be viewed as my own man in my own light. I want to be viewed as the best. I can't be viewed as the best if I align with the best on some. I'm doing his album because that was Big's album. That was been under Big's label. That was his creation. There's only one way that would have been viewed, and that'd have been, oh yeah, Big got his little man on there, Jay-Z. He nice. So for that reason, I don't think that album would have been what we thought it was or what was being speculated. And Big's death is advantageous for Jay-Z to say now, or we're supposed to do the commission together. Yeah, in death. But look at the time of when he acknowledged. In death, he acknowledged. He never acknowledged that Joan when Big was walking the earth, man. You know what I mean? It's almost like to let the world know of how close him and Big was. I'ma say we was gonna do this album together. That was my man. Like that's the way I feel about it. You know what I mean? But no, they wasn't. I don't think that was gonna be. I don't think that was gonna happen for the reasons I already stated. And yeah, I think people need to stop adding gas to that because I think that's all gas. Me personally, I think it's all gas. Like I said, I think it's advantageous for Jay-Z now to say, yeah, we were supposed to do the commission together. Like, yeah, Big was my man. Well, my was just it's my partner in crime. Like, okay. Like, I'm not saying that part because everybody said he was mad close, but I don't think that I don't think they would. I don't think he would allow himself to be on if it was 14 tracks. He wouldn't have been on no more than 3 or 4 of those tracks, and I'm being modest with 3 or 4. Um, but y'all get in the comments, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Definitely get in the comments, man. Definitely get in the comments. Definitely like it, man. Definitely subscribe if you ain't already subscribed. Um, I'm gonna keep giving y'all this. I'm gonna keep breaking it down to the oils for you. That's all I know how to do. I'm gonna keep bringing it from the oils. We're gonna keep it like this, and I'm gonna see y'all. I'm gonna see y'all on the spin back, man.